Regulation EU 2024-2865 entails special challenges for the creation of labels. In addition to the existing minimum sizes for labels, now defined minimum font sizes must also be adhered to and only sans serif fonts must be used. The greatest space requirement results from the prescribed 20% increase in line spacing. As companies often use a large number of label templates, ChemGes has been extended so that the existing templates can be adapted to the new requirements with minimal effort for the user, as otherwise each individual label template would have to be changed individually. To enable a flexible application of the regulations, special customization options have been implemented in ChemGes. Once these options have been activated, the label templates will automatically adapt to the regional requirements of the respective regions. ChemGes will adhere to the new regulations for EU countries and will use previous regulations for all other countries. As these new labeling rules will not take effect until 2027, they must be manually activated by the user prior to that date. Once the transition period has concluded, activation will be automatic for EU countries. You will then have the option of deciding whether to adapt the existing label templates for use in EU countries only, or whether to implement them more universally, for all countries for which you generate labels, in order to ensure a consistent image of your labels across the board. In principle, the requirements apply to all label elements, including the company name and product description. However, since some companies have strict corporate identity requirements, you can choose not to apply the defaults to these fields. If the font in the label template is defined with serifs, for example Times, you can specify which substitute font should be used. The default for this is Arial. Finally, the minimum font size can be determined in the general settings. As ChemGes cannot know the capacity of the packaging, a minimum font size of 1.2 mm is predefined. There may be instances where users prefer not to use the default values. For this reason, the option has been added to disable the use of this regulation directly in the label template, and also to define a custom font size for the template, which then overrides the minimum font size in the standard settings. As you can see, the process is entirely automated, with only a few settings to configure. If a serif font has been defined, it will automatically be replaced by a sans serif font. Regardless of the minimum font size defined in the label template, the set minimum font size will be used. Concurrently, the line spacing will be increased to 120% of the font size.